We have a nice story. We are going to talk to Brandon Reed Jr. and his father, Mr. Reed Sr., and then we're going to have Nana from good old Nolan Catholic, and also Sam Hicks, all from Nolan Catholic. So we got a good trio. We have Brian Gossett from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram on with us, and we have Marc Henry on with us. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brian Gossett. Come on in.
Hey guys, Mr. Reed and Brandon Jr., how you guys doing?
Pretty good. Doing great.
Awesome. And so, just kind of going back to earlier this year, you know, my colleague Matt Martinez, Star-Telegram, he kind of told your story. But I mean, if you guys want to kind of tell the audience just kind of what happened there earlier in the year.
Sure. Brandon Jr., did you want to do it or you want me to?
You can tell your story first.
Okay. Earlier this year, kind of found out the hard way, my son has a heart condition. He's a junior, and at the time he was a junior at Nolan Catholic, upcoming senior this year. So I believe it was at track practice early March, near the end of track practice somewhere. He collapsed and told us he was out for like about 7 minutes or so. So he eventually regained consciousness, took him to the hospital. He was in the hospital for about a week. And at the end of the week, they diagnosed him with a condition called ARVD. So he had a rhythm issue with his heart. From there, they had planned to do a procedure on him, but they couldn't do the procedure at the time because of a clot within his heart. So he was given a life vest until a certain date when they were able to do the procedure, which would have been a couple of months away. The life vest he was to wear pretty much 24 hours a day with the exception of when he takes a shower. So I believe it was March 25th. At the time he was working at Brahms, he just got home from work. Had to been near 10:45, maybe 11 o'clock. Got home, ate, took his vest off, took a shower, and as he was coming out of the shower, getting ready to settle down for the night, went into cardiac arrest. So went into cardiac arrest near 11:30ish. So he wasn't home for about a half hour or so before that happened, and the rest of the night was just a crazy night. Then initially didn't think he was gonna make it through the night, but through the grace of God, he was able to regain consciousness later towards the end of the week, and here with us now. So since then, he's had a defibrillator placed within him. But in a nutshell, that is what took place.
Yeah, we're glad that Brandon's still here with us, and but for Brandon Jr. and Mr. Reed, you can chime in too here, but just kind of talk about the last 5 months and just kind of the support and community from Nolan Catholic. I see there's a GoFundMe account that almost nearly $30,000 were raised. You know, what's it been like just these past few months?
The support we got from Nolan was unexpected, but it was unexpectedly nice. I can't express my gratitude more for the Nolan community. I think from the initial day he was in there, I reached out to his coach Bowden, let him know where we were at, and every day somebody from Nolan was at the hospital with us. I think that first day there were at least 30 to 40 students in the ICU area with us. They even had to implement a few rules at the hospital to try to keep traffic down. And my son was in the hospital, I would say close to a month. And every day there was somebody, at least 2 or 3 people from Nolan there with us. They were there with us bringing food. Like I said, We had the GoFundMe account, which helped out a lot. And they were just great. Even to this day, they're still great. I appreciate and can't really express my gratitude for the Nolan community. And that was Brandon's actually first year at Nolan last year. So like I said, it was unexpected. So that was because we hadn't been there that long. And they're pretty much family. I got my youngest son, incoming ninth grader. He's about to get ready to go to Nolan. So yeah, Nolan has been great from a parent aspect. It's been pretty awesome.
Awesome. And what about you, Brandon? Just your teammates and your brothers being there for you.
Since I came to Nolan, it's just been pretty much amazing. Like, they give you like the love that you, as a player and as like a teammate, that you would need out of a football team. So pretty much, these past couple of months, they've been supportive. Whatever I do, they just pretty much are there and support. So I know I can lean on them and depend on them if I need them at any point. So, when I was in the hospital, when they were supporting me, like, it's crazy to think, like, I was only there for, like, maybe 4 months, like, in the school year. Like, not even, like, a whole school year. And I had that much support, and we raised that much for the GoFundMe account. And it's a blessing, and I'm just honored to be in the position to be here to support my teammates in this upcoming season.
Yeah, I think the support Nolan gave was even a surprise to hospital staff. We even had hospital staff come up to me and my wife in just amazement that kids were coming there and everyone was vocal about their love for Brandon and just for the love for each other within the community. So it's a wonderful school, and I'd recommend it for anybody who asks me about it.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, just thankful that you're still around and appreciate it. And I'll let Mark take it.
All right, appreciate it, Brian. Brandon Senior. I know these guys. I've been knowing them for a long time, and I know Brandon's story from when he started. And Brandon Jr., if you'll just talk about the journey, your football journey, because you've always been a hungry player. You've always worked hard, and talk about how much football has meant to you throughout your life.
Growing up, like, football was pretty much everything to me. I started way young, probably about, I want to say 3rd, 4th grade. I started with football, flag football, playing, having a good time. And as I got older, I started realizing, like, the game, like, it started making it more serious for me. So at a point, I was thinking maybe the next level, like college. So I was taking football, like, as seriously as I could possibly could. So when I was probably like maybe freshman year, I was undersized, I wasn't a starter at one point, I didn't hurt me or nothing. I just kept working. I had a Lisfranc injury my sophomore year, and at that point that was like the blockage for me, and I didn't think I would be able to walk again. But I got over that, kept grinding. So when I came to Nolan, it was just a mentality, no matter what position I played, QB or DB, like, I was just gonna go as hard as I could, and pretty much having this setback really isn't a negative thing. I see it more as a positive. So all I can do is just pretty much learn from it and just see what God's plan is for me in the future. So that is pretty much.
Well, that's great, Brandon. Your work ethic is what got you to where you are. And just because you don't have football doesn't mean you can be a success. So what are some of the things that you've been working on to help your teammates? I've seen you on a lot of pictures with the guys at the media day. Are you coaching some of your guys at your position?
Yeah, I used to call me like an assistant DB coach. I don't have the official name, but that's what I would call it, because, like, in practice, I help teammates, if a DB is stuck on or confused on a certain technique, I give tippers, really I'm just there to give support to my teammates and encourage them to do better than what they was before. So pretty much I'm out there just giving moral support and helping out when needed.
All right, Brandon. Last question for you, and then I'll turn it over. I'll ask your dad one question. Talk about the role that Coach Bowden and the coaching staff has played in supporting you in this journey, because this is the second phase of your life. You won't be able to play ball anymore, but you're still heavily involved with the program.
The coaches, man. Coach Bowen, he's an amazing guy. You know, he put me in a position to where it's up to me. I can pretty much lead the guys in the way that fits the team the most for me personally. So pretty much the other day I got mentioned as a captain. So that was shocking to me, and just hearing that just makes me feel like, makes me want to go even harder for my teammates. And pretty much when I think about it, I think that football is like, it's more than just football. So there's a deeper meaning to it. So when there's a family and then there's a team. So I feel like with both connected, that you can pretty much be like a great football team. So the coaches, they've helped me through a lot. Coach Hanson, you know, he talked to me. Coach Witt, he talked to me, you know, whatever I need, he has me. So I pretty much depend on the coaches, and they give great support through everything for me.
All right, and Brandon Sr., this question is for you. Your family is already a tight-knit family. I've been knowing you guys for a long time. First question is, how did this bring your family even closer? And the second one is, talk to other parents, give them kind of what they need to do and what they need to look for, signs that maybe you didn't see, but that you're more medically inclined to know about now, because we did see the young man out at Summer Creek Middle School here in Fort Worth and Crowley pass, and that was a big loss. And this guy was just like Brandon. He was a track athlete. You know, you guys have always kept Brandon and all your other kids in great shape. I mean, you know, constantly working out. So it wasn't something that you saw a sign that come out. Just talk about that for parents and what they need to do with their kids, you know, because these days a physical just can't get it.
Yeah. Now, it's something that we've been talking about, my wife, especially with Brandon. I think we're still in the process of trying to figure out what can be done to bring more attention to it. Because as it was explained to us, this is one of those conditions in life that's just unfair. Like, you don't know you got this condition until you fall out. And when you fall out, the majority of the people who do get this, they pass away. So Brandon was one of the few lucky ones to still be here. So we're still in the process of figuring out what we can do to bring more attention to it. The tests that you need to figure out the genetic coding within yourself to know if you got this condition or not are very expensive. So I don't think it's something as simple as something that could be included in the physical. But yeah, I know we need to bring attention to it, because it's like one of the things where you see about it, you pray it don't happen to you, but when it happens to you, it seems like every other time you look at a news story, you see it happening to somebody else. So when we saw that, saw it happen to I believe he was 13 or 14-year-old last week or the week before in Crawley, that kind of touched home. So right now, I don't think I have an answer for what we can do to bring more attention to it, but I know something needs to be done to bring attention to heart conditions and things of that nature. Because like I said, up until this point, there were no warning signs. There was nothing given to us, with the exception of what happened to Brandon during track practice. And even then, he was out for about several minutes. So that could have been the major one there that took place. So when the second one took place, I think mentally we were actually in the process of getting ready to go to a doctor to get second opinions and things of that nature that upcoming week. So when this one took place, I think we were still grasping with the fact that condition has been identified with Brandon, because Brandon was probably the best, was in the best physical shape of anyone in the house. So
always, yeah.
So I don't know if I got an answer for what can be done, but like I said, I know we've been talking about it, and we're reaching out to some folks to see if we can get involved in something, but I don't have an answer right now.
All right.
As far as how it's brought us all closer together, like I said, we're already tight knit, but I think I think when it happens and you're blessed to continue to have your kid, you hug them a little bit more. So I'm not really the huggy type, but I think since last March or April, I've been hugging a lot. So my wife too. So we've been doing a lot more hugging.
Hey, but that's understandable, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all spending a little time with us. And, Matt, if you have a couple questions for him, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Reed, the senior Reed, I would like to say, what has this experience done for you and your family as far as, just bringing you guys closer as a family? Have you guys been a religious family? Has this brought you guys closer to God, or have you always been close with God? Just talk about that.
No, I think we've always been close to God, and I think we've always been a close family. Mostly because myself and Shalana, my wife, we didn't have our fathers in our family. So we wanted to make sure our kids had a complete family. So we're from Chicago, so coming down here was pretty much a family move to give our kids a better chance at doing things and making sure our family was as tight as it could possibly be. So I think we were always close, but this did kind of it just brings you closer, because now we have to take a look at not just Brandon's situation, but he has brothers and sisters that are younger than him. Brandon's the oldest, so now we're all getting checked out for the condition, and you just learn to appreciate the little things. Like I said, some things you don't take for granted. Like, I got 2 boys, so we didn't really do a lot of hugging and stuff. But even though we were close, but since this, I think we've been a little bit more, like I said, I've been more huggy with them. So it brings you closer, just going through this.
Yeah, you bet. So Brandon Jr., talk about your teammates Nana and Sam Hicks, since we have them on the show, and what they've meant to you.
Those 2 guys right there, man. Especially Sam Hicks, because Sam Hicks has been always like that teammate that you could depend on no matter what, whether it's school, football, getting you better as a player. And Nana, he's the leader of the team, you know what I'm saying? So those 2 players, they mean a lot, and they have bright futures ahead of them. And me and Sam Hicks had recently had a test in Earth and space science, so we studied together, you know what I'm saying? And we was grinding it out. So Sam and Nana, the 2 are the leaders on the team, so there's a reason for them to be captains, and it's well deserved. And I appreciate everything that them 2 have done for me as a player and as a brother in the family.
Well, I can say this real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
As I said, if I can just chime in, I think everything happens for a reason. So I think us
Amen.
Finding Nolan was for a reason. And I think that reason was just confirmed with what we've been through in the sport. Like I said, that first day that it took place, when the doctors told us that they didn't think Brandon would make it through the night, that morning, I think the entire football team was probably up there. So Nana was probably one of the first ones that I saw. There were a couple other ones, but he was one of the first ones up there. So, like I said, you can't express your gratitude to the Nolan community. I can't express my gratitude to the Nolan community more. They've just been wonderful.
Now, I'll say this real quick. We're in the media. Do you think, Brandon Jr., do you think that the media would be a future for you to cover sports in the future now? Because given your circumstances, maybe you could use your platform in the media or something.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. Or being a assistant coach, one of the 2. Me personally, I feel like the media is a lot better option for me simply because of my background, and I could just spread the word. So yeah, definitely looking forward to being in the media and reporting and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I know Brian Gossett's got a special spot for you in his heart, and we do too. So with the old coach, and we're owned by 24/7 Sports and CBS Sports. So if you ever want an opportunity, we're here for you. And if you would like to give a shout out, you and your father, here's your chance to give a shout out to whoever you guys want to give a shout out to, and then we'll get over to Nana and Sam Hicks.
All right. I shout out to my Marvin Young Jr., receiver, 6'3", got his first offer a couple of weeks ago. My boy Iron A, can't pronounce his last name, but and his brother too, Henry DB. Pretty much the whole football team, and I'm listening on Cam Walker, right, senior DB, he's getting better as time progresses. Jason Curl, young DB, but give him time, he's gonna be there. That's it.
And Brandon Senior, go ahead. You get some shout outs for yourself as well.
Well, since I'm a little bit older than him, I'm gonna first shout out my wife.
There you go. Happy wife, happy life.
Can't start a shout out without her. And just shout everybody out. So shout you all out for having us on here with you all. So really appreciate that. Shout out to Mark for reaching out. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. If you guys want to mute your phones and listen for the rest of the show, you're more than welcome. It's up to you guys. And we're just very thankful that you guys came on the show, and it means a lot to us. It's a very touchy story, and we know that it's been a big impact on you and your family, and we can only imagine how it is for you guys. And we're just very happy that Brandon Jr. is still here with us, because everything does happen for a reason, and God has a plan for him.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yes, sir. So we're going to go ahead, and we're going to jump into it. We got Nana over here. Nana, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Brian Gossett, take it away.
Well, hey, what's up, Nana? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. So we got the 2018 season just starts tomorrow for some schools, and we've talked multiple times this off season about you guys and how you guys gonna get better and whatnot. But if we can just get back to that, what's it kind of look like for Nolan Catholic? Why should we pay attention to the Vikings this year?
It's looking really good so far, especially with everything that's been going on, with all the new changes, the little bit of a new defense, and new type of offense, and it's just looking really good. At first, it was a little shaky because we had a few new players come in, so it was just adjusting to the new culture and everything. But after the entire summer, everything we went through, from all the 7-on-7 tournaments to even like our big man challenges, and then our camp we had down in Blanco, our team has really gotten together, and it's a real brotherhood now. So I know we're going to be a team that we're going to make it far just throughout the season, throughout playoffs and everything, and hopefully we're going to get that state run.
Yeah, you mentioned the 7-on-7, and you guys had a great summer with two titles there, and the UIL. You were the top TAPS team to finish in that tournament, and I talked to you and Chance at the True Buzz Media Day, but how do you think that's going to help you guys with so much kind of experience and reps during the summer? How would that translate to the fall season?
It's going to help us a lot in the sense that the competitive nature that we had back in the spring, it never ended and never calmed down, because we were always competing on and off the field when we would go to these tournaments, we would go to these different places to play, and even back on our own turf when we'd be doing some type of agility work or we're doing some type of lift in the weight room, we were always competing. And then as camp started, everybody's competing just to show off what they can do. And just the fact that everybody's giving it their all 100% all the time is going to really help us when we're playing against these teams, because we know that when we're in the game, we're going to be playing for one another and giving it our all for the betterment of the team. So just that competitive nature is going to continue to increase each game.
And last question here for me, but is there a game that you guys have circled on the calendar, and why?
Our biggest game is probably going to be the All Saints game, because now that All Saints is in TAPS, it's basically the battle of who's going to be that best private school in TAPS now. And just the fact that we lost twice to All Saints last year, we just have a lot of vengeance to come back at them and beat them at their home turf.
Awesome. I like it. Appreciate it, Nana.
Yes, sir.
All right, Marc Henry, come on in, Mark.
Nah. Hey, man, what's going on, man? We hadn't talked since we were at the camp in Dallas at D1. Let's talk a little bit of recruiting first. You're committed to Notre Dame. Tell me what makes Notre Dame special and what was attractive to you about it.
My favorite thing about Notre Dame was it was one of those schools that had really the best of both worlds for me because throughout my recruiting process, my parents always stressed on me just how important that degree is from whatever college you go to. And especially like my mom, she was always stressing the fact that you want to get a degree that has a lot of volume. So I remember originally my dream school actually was Stanford, and I went out there for a little junior day, checked it out, but it didn't really seem like a great fit for me. So when Notre Dame offered, it was one of those schools that I also saw had a great academic background and also just elite football. So me being able to go up there and check it out and to hear from the players there, I just really felt like it was going to be a place that not just myself would enjoy, but even my family. And I really like Notre Dame because I saw Notre Dame a lot like how my school now is at Nolan Catholic, because you're going to be surrounded by people that constantly want to achieve, whether that's athletically, spiritually, and even mentally, just in the schoolwork or getting their faith closer to God. So I just really like that about Notre Dame because it was really similar to what I am at, where I'm at now. And so when I was able to find that place, I knew it would be the best place for home.
Man, those are all great points, and I love it. Now let's talk about you guys' defense. You got Richard Silver, yourself, Chance Cover. Outside of Mansfield Legacy, I think you guys are probably one of the top defenses. It doesn't matter private school or UIL. Talk about you guys' defense coming into 2018.
Our defense is looking really good, especially the fact that we're having actually 10 returning starters from last year. But just besides the fact of the starters and the more experience that we have of our players, we also are just having a lot more depth than we have in the past years. And everybody is just dialed in or has the same goal, just beating whatever offense lines up against us. And nobody's even worried about their own playing time or their highlight tape. Everybody's dialed in to be that number one defense in Texas. And the fact that everybody has that mentality is going to help us to be incredibly aggressive when we're playing in each game, because our defense is just that defense that's going to force like turnovers and emphasize how important those are. So it's going to be really exciting to see what we do.
Man, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the field, and I'll end this with my final question, and I'll toss it to Matt. Some of your goals team-wise for this year, and then some of your personal goals going into 2018, because your senior year, this is going to be your last ride with your brothers.
Yes, sir. I mean, our biggest goal, of course, is state. That's just what we wanted the most, because Nolan Catholic has been that school that used to be known for always getting to state, winning some, not even losing much, and just the fact that that was the old culture. We're trying to bring that back. So state's our biggest goal right now. And just my goals personally, I mean, I have the goals of like not really a certain type of stats. I mean, yeah, I want plus 15 sacks, but I mean, that's just not my biggest type of goal. And my biggest goal really is just I want to be a leader for just my team, especially like the young pups, because since this is going to be my last year, I want to leave an impact on them of having that winning culture and that winning mentality. So my biggest goal really is just to make sure that the way that we play, the way we execute this year is how the younger kids are going to be striving to be when they become seniors.
Hey, what's up, Nah? This is Matt Davidson. So I just want to talk about your 7-on-7 experiences. I know you played for your school, obviously, but talk about playing for True Buzz and what you learned about yourself and being able to play against elite talent from all across the country.
I like playing with True Buzz a lot because it gave me the opportunity to play against some different athletes out there, whether it's a running back going against like blitzing on these quarterbacks and 7-on-7 and going against like different slots and wideouts. And it just allowed me to realize my athleticism and also point out the things that I need to work on too, because I realize just the footwork that a DB has is, yes, I wouldn't say it's really specifically to a DB, because if a D lineman has speed as quick as a DB, it's going to help him on the D line, of course, also getting around those offensive tackles or guards. So it just really helped me to see that there's not really any type of footwork that's specific to a certain position, because in the end that you can have the footwork of any position that's going to help you translate to whatever position you play in. So that was my biggest thing I got away from playing 7-on-7 with True Buzz this year.
Now, this is fun because it's this week, but who do you guys play this Friday? And tell us what you're looking forward to on this Friday night.
We play Houston Kincaid, and we're really excited for it because Kincaid's coming off of winning their SEC state championship last year. And just the fact that they're this winning team known for their winning program, and we're coming off just a tough loss from that All-Saints game back in playoffs. We just have a lot of eagerness, and we're all hungry to just go out and play. And we're going to be striving to win because we know we're not playing any team that's just going to come down and lay an egg. This team's they're known for winning and they're used to winning, so they're going to be giving it their all, and so are we. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
That's pretty awesome, Nana. And that speaks to your coach being able to get these teams to play against y'all because he wants to test you guys and wants you guys to be the best so you can go get a state championship. And I really appreciate you, Nana. Stay on there. We're going to give you a chance at the end of the show to do your shout-outs. But right now, Sam Hicks, my guy, my brother. Okay, Sam Hicks, are you ready? All right, here we go. Brian Gossett, take it away. Gossett, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there?
Yeah. How you doing tonight, Sam?
I'm good, sir. How about you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Let's just start off with recruiting. How was your summer, and what's it kind of look like for you?
First of all, I want to thank God for putting me in this situation. I was but answer your question in the summertime, it was good for me. You know, I came out of spring football, did my thing, and just worked out. Leading into the summer, I got my first offer from Mercer University, which was a real blessing. It drove me this last summer to get better, to get more offers, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So I just went to scouts that's putting work. So hopefully this season I get more offers. So I'm really not taking my offers right now. I'm just really thinking about doing these, helping teams get the championship.
Yeah, just kind of talk about your off season and your summer and what you've been doing just to get better as a football player and maybe a vocal leader on the field.
Well, to start off the off season, I went to my trainer, Marquez Beason. He did give me the right to January. I came late. He did give me the right as a wide receiver to because in college, I'm going to get some tough athletes no matter what school it is, because we all try to get to the NFL. And it's gonna be everybody's gonna be hungry. So he's been getting me right for spring or off season. Going later on to the off season, I ran track for high school. I actually quit telling myself to do that. So I football we even pads. That's what I play in college with pads on. So I ain't really care much about 7-on-7. And this was really good. I've been doing all season at the same time. And on field, Coach Bowden, he put me in very hard to be a leader. I have to help the team. When none of us wasn't there, I have to help the team be better in the field. Helping my teammate Iron. So sometimes you might have a hard time, and I have to help him and pull him back up so he can be ready to play.
That's awesome, Sam. Appreciate the time, and for you and Nana, just the best of luck this year. All right, take it away, Mark.
Sam, what's going on? How you doing, man? So glad to have you on. Just talk a little bit about the Viking way, the Nolan Catholic Viking way, and the tradition over in Nolan, what it means to you.
Well, I transferred from senior high school and going to private school, which is very different. And going to Nolan Catholic. They took me in as a family member. Small circles. So as soon as I stepped in, everybody was nice to me and learned about the coaches. They extra adults. It means to be a leader. And I want to be a leader in the future, be a man. As I get older, I stop football. And it's a Christian school, and I want to be close to God as a man of God. So,
well, those are all great key points, and man, I love everything that you guys are doing over at Nolan. And we had Brandon Reed Jr. on earlier. Just talk about you guys' relationship. He hit on that early and what he was meaning to your team this year.
We really, actually, we came in about the same week. Came in to know about the same week. We were both middle in the football field. He was a quarterback, but he moved to DB, and he asked me good. And through our football season, me and him asked me to train each other. He locked me on a few times. I beat him a few times, and we got better and better practice every day. It leads us to now. I hate that we can't play football so much work. It's crazy. And
Well, last question, and I'll end this with this and toss it over to Matt. What are some of your goals and keys, and what is your role on the team? You're on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you can play anywhere, but talk about your role in you guys' offense and how you affect the offense, how you affect the game, and what are you looking forward for this week going against Houston Kincaid?
so my goal is I feel everything. It's actually it's difficult. It's tremendously difficult to like get all the plays down. But I study and get all the plays down, and that's my goal. But going to Houston Kincaid, I'm so hyped on my explain it. Like I don't care what record they are. I don't show mercy. I don't show mercy to any team. I don't underestimate any team. If you want the same field as me, I'm gonna bring it. And I appreciate the coaches for putting me in a good situation on the team, because in that way I could I use my powers more than I could before in my own school, and that helps college scouts, especially real good. And my goals, I said this before on Twitter, but I don't want to talk about it, because some people don't want to believe what I say. It's a big goal for me. I want to achieve it. So you'll see this during this season.
Man, that sounds awesome, Sam. I just want to tell you and Nana, thank you so much for coming on our show. And I know I didn't really get a chance to talk with you a lot, Sam, but I talk with you all the time. So I just wanted this to be your opportunity to come on our show and talk about what you guys have going on at your school and how awesome Nolan is. Nana, I'm going to give you this chance right now to give your shout-outs to everybody that you want to give a shout-out to, and then we'll turn it over to Sam Hicks, and then we'll let you guys go, and then we're going to get into some other stuff after that.
Okay, well, I just want to shout out really just the whole Nolan Catholic football team in general. I mean, I want to give a really big shout out to our O-line, like Michael Gonzalez, Sean Malaccio, Julian Morocco, Logan McDonald, and Big Boy Jace, because they just been working. Olsen Stan Adams and Jacob Watson, they've been working their tails off the entire offseason. They're going to be one of the top O-lines in the whole state, honestly. Our entire defense, like my D lineman over there, Jayna Burnett, he's a youngin' that's going to be on the come up. And then Big Manny out there too. Malik Woolley's going to be a good D1 player, like a beast, honestly. Coleman Meadows, great player, also not just a great football player, but also a Boy Scout, about to get his Eagle. And then Colin McKay, one of the smartest guys I know. And then like our other safety, like Ben Core, got a 1,500 on his SAT. And you also got like a 34 on the ACT, one of the most smartest people on the entire team just in general. And then our DB, like Cam Walker, Jason Curl, Brendan Riley, and everybody on the team, especially our quarterback Luke, has been leading us through all the adversity. And I just want to give a big shout out to all those people.
That's awesome. Sam, what you got for some shout outs?
Shout out to Coach Vader, man. For real. He put me, I changed as a man, Not talking about football. I'm talking about as life. He changed me as a man. Shout out to Coach A. Shout out to Martin. Shout out to RNA. Shout out to the whole wide receiver club. I love you guys. Shout out to my linemen. Love you guys. So, we get into it sometimes. I know you got my back. I got your back. Shout out to my family, my mom, and my dad for putting me on the good environment. And shout out to all my teachers.
Well, Sam, we just want to tell you and Nana and B. Reed Jr., thank you guys, and B. Reed Sr., thank you guys so much for staying on this show and for taking this time with us. We talked with y'all's head coach during the football season. He's a great man, and Coach Bowden, he's awesome. We had him come on. He talked with Brian Gossett and us during the summertime as well. He's pretty awesome, so we already know what you guys got cooking on there. Great story. B. Reed Jr., we appreciate you coming on here, and God has a plan for you. And you know what? Send me a direct message, and we'll set you up with an internship if you really want to get into the media, okay?
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, brother. Well, you guys have a great rest of your night, and now we're gonna go into our game coverage. So if you guys want to put your phones on mute and still listen, We got our guy Nick Harris coming in. Nick, talk about the games of the week right now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, yeah, week 1 in Texas high school football coming up. We're pretty excited about the season getting off started. It's like Christmas Eve for us. It's the day before, we all get crazy for the next 16-plus weeks. I don't even know how long it is anymore. I think it's 17, actually. But from now until the end of the year, end of the calendar year, we'll be going full speed. But focusing on this week, we got some great matchups, non-district play. Especially the first week of non-district play. There's some special games such as the Landry Classic, got the Waco Classic going on, some kickoff games, opening the new stadium in McKinney ISD. Our games of the week for theoldcoach.com, we got Allen and Mesquite Horn. Myself will be at that one, and the old coach himself, Carl Bailey, will be broadcasting that one live on theoldcoach.com. And then we also have Lake Travis and Arlington Martin. Lake Travis making the trip north to play one of the better DFW teams of the past 2 years. They haven't quite gotten over the hunch of a state title, so they fall under the ranks of like Allen or DeSoto. But Arlington Martin is definitely a solid squad in the DFW area that a lot of teams respect around the state. So that's why Lake Travis is coming up, getting them some DFW experience. And then also our editor-in-chief, Nick Walters, will be at Waco Midway and Euless Trinity. Waco Midway coming off a tough 6A Division II state championship loss to Cy Fair last year. Kind of a crazy offensive game. They tried to come back late, but it was just too little too late. So they're looking to rebound this year. They lose their quarterback, Tanner Mordecai, to Oklahoma. But they return some solid offensive weapons, and they will look to return to that big stage this year. And Lufkin, Longview, there's just a lot of games around the area. West Mesquite, Hutto, and Waco. I will be at Austin Anderson and Austin McCallum tomorrow night, Thursday night. There's just great games all the way around.
Yeah, so I'm going to be at South Grand Prairie and South Lake Carroll tomorrow night. That's going to be a great game for my area that I live in. Gossett, Brian Gossett, come talk to us about where you're going to be at this week.
Yeah, Thursday I'll be with you, Matt, over at the Go for Warrior Bowl, South Lake Carroll versus SGP, and I think everyone knows by now, and it's been talked about, but Riley Dodge returning to South Lake, and just interesting to see how they will do this year. Obviously, South Lake Carroll is always a power, and I mentioned this Sunday night on High School Sports Special, but it's not like he's a first-year coach and he's walking into a rebuilding process. Salt Lake's got some great talent with TJ McDaniel and RJ Mickens and Will Bowers at the quarterback position. They should be really good this year. Friday, kind of staying with that Salt Lake Carroll theme, I'll be at Dragon Stadium for North Forney and Colleyville Heritage. They're playing at Dragon Stadium because Mustang Panther Stadium there in Grapevine is still, being rebuilt, and so it's going to take a couple weeks. Actually, tomorrow, Thursday, Grapevine is playing Azo at Dragon Stadium, so I think that's a pretty cool deal to kind of have a neutral site in somewhere like Carroll. And then, just kind of going off Nick's point, there's just some great matchups. Week 1 is definitely loaded, and just wanted to mention some, Rockwall and Highland Park, Highland Park 2-time state champs, and Rockwall actually gave Highland Park their only loss last year, and, obviously Highland Park went on that winning streak to win a second straight, that great 5A Division I state title game, probably the best in, Texas high school history against Manville, 53-49. Talking about some new stadiums, McKinney and McKinney North, if you're into that kind of thing, and new stadiums, big stadiums, they got the $70 million McKinney ISD stadium there, so you might want to go check that out Thursday night. And then just some quick hits here, some rivalries, long-time rivalries already going on early. Sherman at Denison, it's the 120th meeting in all time, and Denison's got Sherman of late, but Sherman still has the all-time record against them. And then Waxahachie and Ennis, the battle of 287. Ennis is another interesting story to watch this year with Sam Harrell coming back. He kind of had to step away because he had MS. but he kind of built up Ennis for 16 years, and he won 3 state titles with them. And then, you got Lancaster, Duncanville, and Aledo Geyer. I mean, it's just, like I said before, it's just really loaded. And it kind of seems like, at least for as long as I've been here, it seems like that this first week, there's a lot more great matchups than years past.
You bet, man. You guys just got hit with the knowledge from Brian Gossett and Nick Harris back to back. Marc Henry, come in and tell us what you're diving into this week.
I'm heading to Cedar Hill, the Longhorns from Cedar Hill, and from Beast, Texas, John Tyler. I think this is one of the biggest matchups that nobody's talking about. You have 2 teams, historically playoff teams, but both teams missed the playoffs last year. It's a little bit of redemption for both teams. And if you don't get on this train now, I've been saying it all summer. Anytime you ask me, the Shane train, Shane Lawrence, check this guy, class of 2019. He's going to be, by game 5, you're going to know this guy's name. The Lions are led by Rickland Holmes, who was born and raised in Tyler, Texas, is a lifelong Lion. And the Longhorns are led by Carlos Lynn. This is his 2nd year. He was the defensive coordinator for the Longhorns the last time they won a state championship. There should be a lot of D1 talent on this field, a lot of D1 players that you need to look at. I mean, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a packed house because traditionally John Tyler travels well. Anybody from East Texas is worth looking at. And I think Cedar Hill is going to surprise some people this year. And then I got a little nugget for y'all, a guy that you may not have heard of. Trinity's got a new back. Check him out. His name is A.J. Barnett. Check him out. He's going to be on top. I'm telling you guys right now, you'll hear this name in the coming weeks or behind that big Trinity offense.
Man, that's a lot to look forward to. We are so happy that football is back. We've been begging for it for the past couple of months. We didn't know what to do. We've been watching baseball on TV. Hey, I love baseball, but I love me some football. And this is the time where I'm going to give everybody to give a time for their shout-outs. Brian Gossett, here's your chance to give your shout-outs.
Yeah, first off, I'll just give a shout out to all the hardworking high school athletes and just getting ready for a great 2018. But I also want to give a shout out. I don't know how many people will be listening from here, but got to give a shout out to my home state, Hawaii. Crazy couple of weeks with Hurricane Lane, and sounds like all my family members and friends are just fine. And it got a little better there with the Little Leaguers from Honolulu winning the Little League World Series. So, hey, it's a small world. If you guys are listening all the way from the 808, here's a shout out to you guys.
Aloha. We welcome that. I love that. I've been to Hawaii multiple times. I love Hawaii. I love Maui. I love the road to Hana. Nick Harris, here's your chance to give your shout outs.
Yeah, I also wanted to speak on one more thing about the games this weekend. You just can't get enough of it. Dallas Carter and Houston Yates. I forgot to mention this one. It's kind of a rivalry that's been renewed from the 80s. Both of these teams were 5A powerhouses back in the 80s. Carter, I believe, won in '88, and I know Houston Yates won it in 1985, the Class 5A state championships, each respectively. But Houston Yates is going to host Dallas Carter in Houston on Saturday at 4 p.m., and then next year Houston Yates will make the trip up to Dallas Carter to play them. So they're kind of having a home-and-home series, trying to renew that rivalry a little bit and give some encouragement to these fans that haven't seen a winning team at one of these schools in a few years. Dallas Carter, more notably known in the past decade for basketball. I believe they have a few state championships under their belt there. But that's definitely a game to keep an eye on culture-wise. Don't think any of these teams will make any noise this year as far as state championship contenders, but this is definitely going to be a big game for both of these cities, for the 2-1-4 and for the 7-1-3. And then as far as shout-outs go, man, just everybody that's playing here in week 1. We're looking forward to getting out and seeing some good games. And everyone at the Old Coach wishes all the athletes and all the coaches the best of luck, and everybody in the media as well, and hope we have a great 2018 football season.
Yeah, and at this time, I would like to make sure that I give a shout out to one of our sponsors. Our sponsor is Grumpy the Barber Go get your hair cut by one of the best in the DFW. DFW has the best cuts, and Raul the barber, Grumpy the barber, 682-331-2244. Once again, call him at 682-331-2244. Grumpy the barber, he'll get you right. He'll make your haircut look real tight. All right. Hey, and I will be at the Grand Prairie and Louisville game on Friday. It was going to be the Flower Mound and Fossil Ridge, but we had some issues on the credential side of that, but it's okay. I'm going to apologize to everybody on Twitter about the poll that I put out. We're going to get that fixed. I'm going to go to each of their games during the season. We're going to make up for it, me and my camera guy, Jeter. So I will be at the GP and Louisville game on Friday. And Marc Henry, here's your chance for your shout-outs.
Hey, man, I just want to say one thing about what Nick said about Dallas Carter and Houston Yates. I'm from Houston originally. I know Yates very well. That was my rival in high school, and these guys were always very good. I mean, you guys may not know much about him now, but Yates was the truth back when I was in school, and we bumped heads all the time. So I'm glad to see that those two historically African-American schools are trying to get that back together, because in my time when I was growing up and when I was playing ball in Texas, those two schools were wrecking shop. So I love that they're renewing that, and shout out to the H-Town, everybody in 713. Also, shout out to everybody that's playing ball this week. Man, from Tarrant County to Dallas County, all over Texas. I can't wait. I'm itching. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. And also, shout out to Matt. Shout out to LL. She's a little under the weather today, but she's still coming through for us. And shout out to my man Brian Gossett, always looking out for me. We had a great time out at the scrimmage at Brewer last week. And just follow me at On the Mark Sports and at the Old Coaching. We're going to have live updates, live highlights, and shout out to King and Leo, my new crew.
Yes, shout out to Jeter, my camera guy. Shout out to everybody with the Old Coach. They know that this is our year. We have so much talent on board, and we have so many good things coming. We're just going to let you guys watch. We're just going to let you guys watch and see what we put out as far as content. And just know, we're going to be doing it for the people. We're doing it for the little guy, and we're doing it for the forgotten guy. Okay? That's what we're here for. We're rocking and we're rolling. Shout out to LL for still recording the show and being here as our producer, even though she's under the weather. Shout out to LL. We appreciate that. Shout out to Nick Harris, Brian Gossett.